All right, we are live on YouTube, and tonight we're going to be discussing, are you overprotective and why this isn't good for your family and friends? So stick around. All of that and much, much more is coming right. From Northern California, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, when that pop-up box pops up, make sure you select all notifications, because that way you won't miss a single thing. You will not miss anything when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. And also make sure on your smartphone, your tablet, your iPhone, your Android, or anywhere that you have the YouTube app installed on, you must also make sure that the YouTube app is set to receive those notifications at a device level. Do all of that, and you're all gravy. You're great to go. You're great to go. All right. Got somebody new in the chat here. That is Shauna. Never seen you here before. Have I seen you here before, Shauna? Let me know. Let me just refresh here for just a second. I want to make sure that everything is going through and the notification has gone out. Yes, the notification obviously has gone out. Welcome to the show, everyone. Hey. So Shauna, have you been here before? I don't remember seeing you here. Maybe you've been here in the past. But thank you so much for being here. Say hello in the chat one more time. Just let me know if you're still here or not. Welcome to the show, Queen Helen Casey. Hello, Eli says Queen. Hey, Queen. Smash the like button for Eli. Mutton Nuts Reviews. Member and moderator. Queen's a moderator as well. Hey, Eli and everyone. Hey, Queen. Hey, Mutt. How you doing? Sorry about that. I'm screwing things up already. Mutton Nuts Review says, hey, Queen. Welcome to the show, everyone. Glad to have you on board. I got to say, to start things off here tonight, Queen Helen Casey. And I'm not going to get too far into it with you because, I don't want to feed into stuff. But I have to say that tonight's topic was inspired by what you're going through. And I wanted to do this show, not specifically for you, but partially for you, because I care about the people that support me, and I care about, good people in general. And part of what I do as a life coach is, when one of my own that I care for and cares for me, needs support, I'm there for them. And, I will make this statement publicly here. There were some things that transpired yesterday that involved Queen and her daughter. And all I want to say is that, we've all been there for her. Mutton Nuts Reviews has been there for her. I've been there for her. And even Alex the Beer Master, another moderator here, was on a private call with Queen and I earlier today. I know you couldn't make it, Mutt. Got your message, no problem. And we're very supportive. And that's what we do over here, folks. We truly care about people. And, when really stupid, dumb things happen, that just really shouldn't happen. We'll leave it at that. That's when support is the most important. And I do want to thank you, Queen Helen Casey, for, standing up for me and for not throwing me under the bus and really, truly understanding what's happened recently. And I thank you for that. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. I know I talk a lot about Mutton Nuts Reviews, but you've been, whenever people are vocal, I talk more about them. A lot of times you come in, just enjoy the show, and you do comment, but you don't, sometimes you'll say things and sometimes you won't. Mutton Nuts Reviews is my top commenter. Like, YouTube now has this little symbol they put by your name when you're the top commenter of someone's channel. Like, Mutt, I got to tell you what I love about you. You just won't stop talking. which is great because that's what we need out here. We need engagement on YouTube, right, to trigger the algorithm. But I also love, besides triggering the algorithm, I really just love having deep intellectual conversations with people and helping each other work through whatever we need to work through. Helen is a wonderful woman. She is a sweet lady. Well, Shauna, I'm checking out your channel right now. Oh, Shauna, we are subscribed to each other. I'm sorry. We met through the Growth Stream community. Yeah, so you must know Queen from the Growth Stream community as well. My apologies. You may have been here once in the past, but thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for supporting, Queen Helen Casey and seeing how amazing she is. I don't know if you're aware of what's been going on lately. I really don't want to talk about it a lot because I'm not here to feed in the drama. I'm just here to support people. Yeah, there's just been a lot that's been going on, and the team really stepped up. The Coach Eli clan team really stepped up behind the scenes and has been very supportive. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Queen. Has the Coach Eli clan team behind the scenes been supportive of you? Be honest with us. Queen Helen K says, hello, Shauna. And Mutt Nuts Review says, I get told I talk too much. Well, we have that in common, Mutt, right? That's why I have a lot of love for you, Mutt Nuts Reviews, because you talk a lot. You see, Mutt, when I run these streams, I need people to talk with. Well, I don't. I can monologue, right? But I enjoy it more when there are people to talk with that ask questions, and I can answer their questions, and we can have a nice, interesting conversation as well. And Queen Helen Casey says yes, and Queen says Mutt, and then puts two crying out of laughter emojis. Fantastic. Well, everyone, let me just check out the stream health real quick. I want to make sure the stream health is going well, and it is. And it looks like we're doing pretty good. I'm not going to be on too terribly long tonight. There's really not a whole lot to say about this topic. And, there were many ways I could have gone to discuss this topic. I could have gone and read a blog out. I could have gone and done more research, which I've done that in the past. But most importantly, I love to speak from personal experience, and I have a lot of personal experience dealing with overprotective people. And the most overprotective person I've dealt with in my life, who's still alive and who I care for the most out of anyone, is my mother. My mother is the most overprotective person in the world. Okay, I have one younger brother. His name is Chris, and he's 15 months younger than me, a year and 3 months younger than me. And, unfortunately, my mom's husband, the love of her life, and my father and my brother's father passed away all of a sudden at the age of 76, 11 years ago. And, when you're a woman like my mother that's been with one man her entire life, my mother was, with my father from the very beginning at a very young age, and shared a life together. She loves him and misses him dearly. And I got to tell you something. My mother has decided she'll never date again. She'll never be with another man again. She has that much respect for my father and, the life that he provided for her, the kids that he gave her. And I tremendously respect that. But because now my father is no longer around, my mother's become even more overprotective of myself and my brother, even though we're grown-ass adults. I'm 46 years old, and my brother just recently turned 45. And, she's very overprotective. She'll text us all the time. She'll ask us almost every day if we're okay, sometimes every few hours. And, and she lives nearby. So if we don't respond to her, sometimes within a few hours, she gets worried and says, if you don't respond, I'm gonna come over and make sure you're okay. And, I try to tell her, look, Mom, I love you. My brother says, I love you, right? But sometimes we can't get back to you for half a day or 4 or 5 hours. Maybe we're working. Maybe we're doing a live stream. Maybe we're on a date or something, right? And we can't, always respond right away. But Mother, give us a little bit of time to respond to you. And, we've always told her that. And we still tell her that, and it never changes. But I got to tell you one thing. I wouldn't trade my mother in for the world. It's just something that with her, I'm willing to deal with because she's my mother. She gave me birth. And I have, I don't have more respect for anyone than my mother. I respect my mother more than anyone on the planet. And I love her dearly. My father, I miss him very much. I respected him as well. I love my mother and father equally. I related a lot more with my father than my mother, even though I would fight more with my father. Because my father would teach me discipline and my mother would more so try to coddle me and my brother, But my mother is a great mother, don't get me wrong. Like, I wouldn't trade her in for the world. But with my father, the respect I have for him was the fact that he taught me discipline and he taught me how to be the man I am today to be able to fend for myself. So, when it comes to being overprotective in certain scenarios, I can understand why, some people are I can't even talk, why some people are overprotective of their family and their friends. I understand that, a mother is going to be attached to her child, just like you love your daughter, Queen. And, your daughter is a grown woman in her 30s. And, she may be involved with some things right now that you're not too fond of. And it breaks your heart. And I can understand that. But again, she's a grown adult and, she's married and she has to fend for herself. I know it sucks to hear that, but it is what it is. When we get older, our mothers want all of our attention still, but sometimes we, want to do our own thing. So I can understand, where you're coming from. At the same time, I think it's good to give, if you're, I've never been a mother, I've never been a father to anyone. I've never been married, never had any kids. But, I personally feel that it's just great to give people space, even if you're family. So anyway, now let me see here. I miss my mom. Make every day special and cherish it with your mom, Eli. Absolutely, Shauna. I totally agree with you on that. I wouldn't trade my mother in for the world. What I'm saying here when I say, she's very overprotective, sometimes it does get a little annoying. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's not taking anything away from not loving my mother. I do love her. But I'm trying to create things for myself to make her more proud of me than she already is. And, when you're focused on something and it takes 2, 3, 4 hours of your time uninterrupted, and you basically, I don't turn my phone off, but sometimes I'll put the face phone down. I have an iPhone, right? And I put it face down because I don't want to see the notifications popping up, and then I'll put it to silent so that way, it doesn't interrupt what I'm doing. Like when I go live, I put the phone to silent because even if I have it on vibrate, you'll hear the buzz come through my microphone, right? And if you have the ringtone on, then that's annoying, right? So, but anyway, Queen, do me a favor. Make sure you're moderating the chat right away. Queen, Mutt, everybody. I want all the trolls that are coming in to be banned immediately. They're coming in, obviously, based on what happened yesterday, and it's pretty pathetic, to be honest with you. And these people are very immature and insecure people that don't really understand what's going on. So please just ban them immediately. I just want to focus on running my show. Shauna says, that's wonderful that you want her to be proud of you, Eli. No, I do. I really do. I'm a 46-year-old grown-ass man, and you know how men are, Shauna. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate that. I got you. You know how us men are, right? Especially when we get older. We get pretty stubborn. I've been pretty stubborn my entire life, Shauna. But, I've learned to tone it down a little bit and be a lot more understanding, especially when it comes to my mother. Is it still annoying? Yes. Do I want to get my work done and not only make something more out of myself? Yes, but I also want to, show her what more I can accomplish while she's still around, to thank her for bringing me into this world. And so that is that. So anyway, so that's one example of, being overprotective. You got to understand your mother and father. If you have a good mother and father, which I know some of you are unfortunate and don't have a good mother and father, but to those of you that are fortunate, like I've been fortunate to have been raised by two wonderful, great Greek parents, you got to have a little tolerance for that. And you got to understand that your family is going to be a little bit overprotective of you. But I think there's a point where if they are too overprotective of you, that it can affect you from becoming the individual that you're meant to be. I think what the role of parents should be is to teach their kids morals, values, and ethics, and to teach their kids the basics, to teach them to be a good human being, right? To make sure they're getting their homework done, to make sure they're getting good grades and all that. I think when it comes time to socializing, I think parents should talk about certain things with their kids, sex education and all that, and the birds and the bees and all that stuff, right? But I think if you watch over your kids like a hawk, I think that's going to really hurt your kids in a couple of ways. Number one, like I mentioned a second ago, it's not going to allow your kids to become the person they were meant to become because you're trying to control them. And number two, if you're too overprotective, then your kids are going to try to do shit behind your back, and they're going to end up doing worse things, right? I think the best thing to do is to give your children the guidance and say, hey, look, be careful out there. I was young once too. I know what happens out there. Just be safe. And if you need anything, have any questions regarding anything, even boys or girls, please come and talk with me, right? That, to me, would be the best way to approach it. Mutton's Review says, okay. Shauna says, I regret the fighting with my mom. Wish I had been more patient. Shauna, I fought with my parents all the time, and I feel like a real jerk for that. I mean, if I could go back 35 plus years ago, even 40 years ago when I was 6 years old, I was always a little smartass. I always thought I knew everything. And I was a pretty smart kid, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say I'm all that. But I think, if I could go back and take back everything that I said about my parents or revolted towards my parents, I would do it. But, that's with what I know now at age 46. If I was as smart and had the experience at age 6, in the same ways as being 46, I mean, then you'd have 6-year-olds that are very mature and ready to have a family and ready to do all this stuff that grown-ups do. But when you're 6 years old, you're not even physically developed enough to have children and do that kind of stuff. You're still developing, right? But yeah, if I could go back, and apologize, and I have apologized to my mom, don't get me wrong. And, before my father passed away, I've shared the story before, I did apologize to my father, for, challenging him on everything and making everything difficult. And all he was trying to do was make sure that, I become the best man I was meant to be. And when I apologized to my father, he you don't owe me an apology, son. I'm proud of you. But you coming to me and owning up to it makes me proud of you. But you don't owe me an apology, son. My father was a very humble man. He was a very stern man like myself. I'm almost like a spitting image of my dad. I pretty much am. I look like him. Unfortunately, my dad had gained a lot of weight later on in his life. So if you see his pictures now, he, from before he passed away, you'll see his face a little bit more puffy than mine and stuff. But my dad was a good man, and I did learn a lot from him. Shauna says, exactly, parents can be too protective. Sometimes they worry they're not being enough and realize it's making things worse. You're right, Shauna. And it's funny, when I was dating my ex-girlfriend, Dana, and we split up a couple years ago, she had 2 teenage daughters, and they didn't have a good father figure. That's why, after 16 years of marriage, she divorced her girl's father. And she didn't expect me to be a father figure, but I knew being in that relationship that I would be like a father figure. And I actually really loved her girls. They were good teenage girls. And I'll tell you what happened, because I really cared about my ex so much. When our oldest one turned 16 and started driving and, was trying to invite boys over into her room, like my girlfriend at the time would ask me how to handle that. And I'm a dude, and and let me tell you, I know exactly what I was doing with my high school sweetheart when I was 16. So I just you get older and you become the biggest hypocrite. You're like, you love your woman. She's got two teenage daughters. One is 16. They're good girls. You don't want a mistake to happen, accidental pregnancy or whatever, right? And so then you start becoming protective, even though it's not your kid. But it's almost like your kid because you're dating the mother, right? And you spend time with the kids, right? And I became really overprotective, and that was the dumbest thing I did, because her girls never really questioned me on it, but I'm sure they talked to their mother about it. And I think that kind of towards the end of our relationship, was like a 2-year relationship. I think, her girls had pretty much enough of it. And that was something that I wish I could take back. So even I have been overprotective in situations where I shouldn't have been overprotective. What I should have done is say, hey, look, you know what, Dana? Look, you and I were young once too. We know what we were doing at that age. And the last thing I know you want to, think about is your 16-year-old daughter being with a 16-year-old boy and doing things in her bedroom, right? I should have said, look, just help, have a conversation with her, have her be safe, take some other precautionary measures, birth control, whatever, condoms, everything, right? Because no matter what we tell her, she's gonna do what you and I did back then, right? So why be hypocrites about it? I look back and, because I cared about my girls so much, and I knew how much her girls meant to her, that it put me in a protective state like most men get, right? And it was a really bad mistake. Shauna says, yeah, my husband is the same age as you, and he still has moments with his mom where he smart mouths her. He feels bad afterwards, just like you. I smart mouth my mother still. Listen, Shauna, I don't think that will ever change. Even I'm sure your man's a good man like me, right? We love our mothers, but sometimes all we want is our mothers to understand that we're not 6 years old anymore, right? And that it's not that we don't want to spend time with them. Like, look, if we were the richest people in the world, then we could hang out all the time, Mom. It's all good, right? Mom, unless you want to pay me, a couple $100,000 a year and this and that, I'll hang out with you all day, every day if you pay me that amount of money, But that's not the way it works, right? Us guys, we have our own lives. We're building our own future, right? Some of us have a girlfriend or we're married, right? And we have our own lives to tend to. It doesn't mean that we don't care. But yeah, no, I still have my moments with my mother whenever I see her. And I do feel bad afterwards, but, it doesn't help that my mother has anxiety too. I've talked about that before. So it makes it a little bit more challenging, but, I've learned to have some patience with that as well, Shauna. Muttonut's Review says, Queen is on fire tonight with the trolls. They have no chance. No, absolutely. Yeah. I have to go. Hugs to you, Eli, Helen, Muttonut. Shauna, thank you for stopping by. Shauna, if you come back again in the future, I will moderate you. I really like your attitude, and I want to get to know you better. I appreciate you for being here. Say hello to your husband because you mentioned him. And it'd be nice to continue getting to know you and helping you grow your channel in any way possible. And, if the trolls contact you and say bad things about me, just ignore them. Everybody has their moments, and I've had mine as well, too. So thank you so much, Shauna, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Queen Helen Casey says, stay safe, Shauna. Muttonut's Review says, later, Shauna. Okay. So yeah, that was another example of being overprotective and how it affected my relationship with my ex and my relationship with her kids. Um, Again, folks, good, caring people are going to be protective to a certain level with any other family and friends. But there's a point where you can take it a bit too far and it becomes obsessive and it becomes annoying and it becomes even controlling. And that's what I want to help you folks prevent happen to you is understand where's that fine line of concern. If you love people, you're always going to have some normal level of concern for them. But if your concern is about them 24/7, every step they take, every move they make, every breath they take, like the Police song, that's obsessive, that's controlling, and that's going to get you a lot of backlash from the people that even care about you. So you got to learn how to give the people you care for a little bit of space, no matter how protective you are of them, no matter how much you love them. That is very, very crucial. Night at Queen Helen Casey at Melas Reviews. And thanks, Eli. You're very welcome, Shauna. Thank you so much for being here. You are greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. So anyway. And I'm trying to think of any other examples I can come up with regarding, being overprotective. There's one more thing I was debating whether I wanted to discuss or not, but I'm going to talk about it because I've kind of talked about this before in the past, and I think it's really important, especially for some of the people that are here watching right now, listening right now. I'm going to talk about, people with disabilities, and I'm going to be very, very clear because I've been heavily scrutinized by many people out there as being a disabled hater or a disabled attacker. And the truth of the matter is I have never, ever once attacked any person with a disability. Okay? Now, have I gone toe to toe on topics, political topics and other topics with someone that just so happens to be disabled? Yes, there's a difference. There's a difference between attacking a disabled person for their disability, and there's a difference in having a debate with a disabled person. And you see, a lot of the people out here on YouTube that don't like me, they will take things way out of context, and they will, say that, oh, you attacked the disabled because you called them this. No, I was having a debate with them on a live stream in the past. And that disabled person that you're saying I'm attacking, which I'm not, attacked me. So are you saying, in essence, that if a disabled person attacks me verbally on a live stream on YouTube, that I don't have the right to defend myself against that disabled person? And again, if I defend myself against that disabled person, I'm not attacking them on their disability. I'm defending them on the words they're attacking me with. There's a huge difference there. I want to make it very clear tonight because a lot of people out there just don't understand the type of person I am and the big heart I really have. I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm not here to attack anyone. Okay? But the truth of the matter is that what I do here is not for everyone. Not everyone is going to enjoy what I do. Not everyone enjoys personal development, self-help, or life coaches. And if you do, I may not be the right life coach for you. If that's the case, so be it. Go find a life coach you want to follow. Go do something you enjoy doing, not what you don't enjoy doing. But the reason why I mentioned disabled people in the first place is because the truth of the matter is, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I have a very, very near and dear place in my heart for people with disabilities. I'm not saying I favor disabled people, but I could almost say that, sometimes I make a little more effort for them, and I really shouldn't because they want to be treated equally. And disabled people don't want you to feel bad for them, but sometimes because of the person I am, I feel bad about the disability that they're struggling with. And that's because I'm fortunate to not be disabled. And that's how I've always felt. And I know it makes me a little emotional right now, and I don't care what people say about this. The truth of the matter is, there's a reason why I have such a soft place in my heart for disabled people. It's because of what I went through in my younger days. When I was in grammar school, I went to private Catholic grammar school in high school. And because of my father working all the time, my mother raising my brother and I, my mother always coddled my brother and I, but my brother kind of wasn't as tolerant to the coddling. And I didn't know how to go out and defend myself properly. I didn't know how to go out there and let things go. When I was in grammar school, people would tease me as a joke, and I would always keep feeding into it. And they kept teasing me even more and more, where all I had to do was say, whatever, dude, right? I'd let it get to me. I was teased for many years. And then when I got to high school, I went to Sarah High School in San Mateo, California. One of the top high schools in the country. A lot of famous athletes came out from that high school. Barry Bonds went to Sarah High School. Tom Brady went to Sarah High School. Greg Jeffries, who used to play for the Phillies, went to Sarah High School. Lynn Swann went to Sarah High School. And many other famous players, right? I was even teased there for my first year and a half, maybe 2 years. It wasn't until midway through my sophomore year to the beginning of my junior year that I stood up for myself and people started respecting me more. So anytime I would see anyone getting teased, I would always defend them. And even though now I've worked through that and I've worked past all of that and I handle myself quite well and I'm much stronger of a person now. Anytime I see any person get attacked, whether they're disabled or not, I have a very soft place in my heart for them. So true, Queen. It's a very big difference. What are you ladies talking about? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you ladies are talking about. Anyway, so like I said, when it comes to disabled people, I shouldn't favor anybody. I don't. I love everyone equally. I have a very soft place in my heart. So when a bunch of people out there are trying to make it appear like I'm a disabled hater, it's very frustrating. And it used to frustrate me a lot, and I just learned to ignore it out here on YouTube, because that's never going to change. People are going to have their opinions, and you can't change people's opinions. You can only ignore it and move past it, right? But with that being said, the one thing that I've seen out here on YouTube that is amazing is a lot of disabled people doing or running YouTube channels as YouTubers. And I'm very proud of what they're making out of themselves. I'm not going to mention any by names, but there are a lot of them that have autism. Some of them, are blind and with autism as well. And they are amazing people. and they create amazing content. And in talking with these people in the past, I asked them, what is it that they want? If they could change one thing about other people that they're dealing with, what would it be? And every single time they say this: they want people to treat them equally as if they were not disabled. They don't want people to look at them as a disabled person. And they do not use their disability as a crutch. And when I used to hang out with these people, until some other people got in their ears and tried to convince them that I'm a bad person, right? I really enjoyed their company. I really enjoyed getting to know them. I was really proud of what they were making out of themselves and what they continue to make out of themselves. It's sad to me that in my situation, whenever I hang out or have a disabled person on my channel, other people try to get in the way. They try to intervene and say, I'm attacking the disabled person. You know, I got to stop you from harming this person. You're making them do things they don't want to do. I don't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. No one's forced to be here. That's pretty funny. Queen's like, Nightbot gave that troll, well, gave him a timeout, Queen. I hope you banned him. Well, I'll do that for you, Queen. I got it, Queen. Nightbot will not ban people typically unless you violate something major. What Nightbot will do is time you out for 5 seconds, and then the next time it's longer. And after several violations, then Nightbot will ban you. But typically Nightbot, it takes a lot to get banned by Nightbot. But Nightbot will time you out, and it will delete all your chat messages. Anyway, so like I was saying, it really saddens me that there are people in this world that hate me so much that they make up lies that I attack disabled people, and then they say they're going to report me to the FBI, or they're going to report me to Adult Protective Services and all that. And to be honest, what I have to say about that is, go right ahead. It's your right to do so. And if it even gets to the point of where they contact myself, I'd be happy to welcome them over to my place and show them my laptop and show them everything. I'd also be very happy to get on a phone call with the person in question and have them talk with that person while I'm there. It saddens me how overprotective some people can be when there's no need to be overprotective because there's nothing going on. Now, I got to mention this, Queen, because I can't live with myself if I don't mention this. And this is what's happening. You're an amazing person, Queen. And I didn't even know, and I got to say this, I'm sorry if this is something you didn't want me to say, but I didn't even know you had a disability, to be honest with you, because I've always accepted you for you. But what happened to you and what's been happening to you because of some other people online that spit lies to even your family members they've connected with, and they've gone out of their way to connect with your family members. It's despicable. It's despicable, Queen. And, I think what happened the past few days has a lot more to do with these people not liking me for removing them from my channel because I felt they weren't the right fit. I have the right to remove anyone from my channel that I want. I have the right to refuse service to anyone. Just like you have the right to refuse service to me on YouTube. If you don't want me on your channel, you can ban me, right? But these people, I've completely ignored. I wasn't going to talk about it, but I am, because it's important. These people, I have not said a word about them for over a month. I've ignored them, right? I've ignored them, right? And then they go out there and they create their regular content and they get no views, right? Well, they get fewer views, right? They get their most views when they concoct Coach Eli drama, right? And because Eli, myself, has not been feeding into anything, they had to try to concoct something to stir up the drama pot, right? It's pretty pathetic. It's pretty pathetic to me that they would go as far as contact Queen Helen Casey's daughter, convince her that I'm a bad person, which Queen's daughter has never spoken with me, doesn't know me at all. And, they convince her through a few, private messages on Facebook, and then sharing a video clip or a few video clips that are carefully edited. Let me tell you something, Queen's daughter, if you're watching, I'm sure you're watching this right now, because now Queen, I hate to say this, I have a lot of love for you and your daughter. I'm not talking smack. What I'm saying to you, Queen's daughter, I'm not going to mention your name, but to Queen's daughter, in essence, when you're associating and feeding into these people, you're becoming a drama queen right now. And I'll tell you honestly, I'm only mentioning this because I care about Queen, and I care about what means the most to Queen, and that's you. You mean the most to her. If you continue feeding into this drama, I'm going to tell you what it's going to cost you that you don't see yet. Because I'll tell you what it cost me. It cost me my last relationship with a woman I cared about more than anyone. I kept feeding into drama. These same people. I know you're happily married, Queen's daughter, and I know you've got a pretty good life, right? At least that's what I've been told. I don't know what happens behind the scenes between you and your husband, none of my business, but I'm told you're pretty happy, right? Why are you going to bring drama into your household? Because let me tell you what these people will do once you try to leave. They're going to try to attack you. They're going to dox you. They're going to, stalk you. They're going to do all these crazy things because once you're a part of them, if you leave them, they never let you go. Now, I don't know what's true and what isn't true. I've heard some things that some of Queen's family members have tried to call her. I've heard this from Queen. They've tried to call her to try to get her out of a bad situation. And what Queen told me is that, there is no bad situation. And she's handling that on her own. Queen says, hello, Nightbot. Smash the like button for Eli. Thank you, Queen. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that Queen's a grown woman. Yes, maybe she has a disability, but that doesn't mean she's broken. It doesn't mean she's not capable of fending for herself. It doesn't mean that because I'm friends with her, she's a moderator here, she's my top moderator here. I'm not trying to take anything away from other mods, but Queen's the head moderator here. She always will be. And ever since she's been on my channel, she's made a huge difference in cleaning it up. Now, do her and I make a mistake every now and then? Sure, but we own it and we move on, right? We don't argue. Queen Helen Casey says, I'm a grown-ass woman. I can take care of myself. I know that, Queen. I know that, Queen. You don't want any special treatment. You just want to be treated like a normal person, right? I think that people more so care about trying to ruin my channel than really caring about, Queen and her disability. I hate to say that, Queen. I care about you. But these people, all they care about, we talked about it privately, is the fact that they're trying to destroy any last bit of my audience and my moderator crew that I have. And I am so grateful and thankful to you, Queen, and to you, Mutt Nuts Reviews, and to Stephanie Ellis, aka Super Steph, and to Rhonda Grace, and to Alex the Beer Master, who we talked with privately earlier today, Queen, and to, who's the other person I'm missing? There's so many others. I'm sorry, I'm missing you. I don't look for attention. F that. Even Mutt Nuts Review says, yep, she is the top mod. Queen, or Mutt, she's a better mod than me. Like, I'm pretty quick when I'm in her chat, but Queen Helen Casey, like, I swear I would not mess with that. If that woman, owned a gun, I wouldn't mess with her. That's a joke. Take it as a joke, folks, okay? Queen's not a crazy person. But the sad thing is, these people want to do whatever they can to try to take me down, shut me down, destroy my audience, right? And you ladies keep coming back. I'm so grateful for that. And I want to keep helping you more, ladies. I'm so grateful for it. I really am. But I'll say this. You pretending to be overprotective is even more pathetic and even just more, hurtful than being normally overprotective. Being normally overprotective, in my opinion, is too much. It's controlling. Pretending to be overprotective just to try to get to me by getting to my top moderator, Queen, is really pathetic. And that's why I know some of you from the other side, I will address you briefly. You've been trying to reach out to me. I want nothing to do with any of you. We're not going to talk. It's over. There's nothing left to be said or done. And anything that you folks do to violate my privacy, my space, or anything like that, I will handle that behind the scenes. At the same time, I myself am not concerned about the numbers of my channel right now. I'm not saying I'm not fully concerned. Yes, I'm a YouTuber. I want to grow. But that's going to happen when the time is right. I'm not worried if I only get 5 or 10 likes or only have 5 or 6 people in the chat, because if I continue doing me, the real me, my channel will eventually grow with the right people, no matter what people do to try to stop me, right? Because the only person that can truly take something away from you, Queen, Mutt, and anyone else here, is yourself. The only person that can take something away from you is yourself. The only way I can fail on YouTube is if I quit. Same with you ladies. The only way that you will fail on YouTube or anything else is if you stop doing it and you quit and you give up. Give up on yourself. You're in full control of your success. And it's funny, even for people that complain because, oh, they were taken down for community guideline strikes or copyright strikes. Well, my statement to you folks out there are many of you out there that violate people's copyrights and community guidelines and all that stuff, right? You know what you're doing. You're putting yourself in that position. So you should be expecting the repercussion, right? You put yourself in that position. Eventually it's going to catch up with you, right? What you project, you get back, right? What you put out comes back to you, right? The way you treat other people is the way they're going to treat you, right? Again, I didn't even want to address this part. I briefly addressed it. It's not a big deal. You know, tomorrow we go back to doing normal streams, and I'm still staying on track. I'm not letting the trolls get to me. It doesn't matter what they do. Nothing phases me anymore. I've seen it all. I've been there, done that, right? And if they do things that, you know, violate the law, then we'll be dealing with that. And I've got plenty of support behind the scenes, trust me, that, you know, is helping me with that. And if you don't believe me, then you can ask some other people that you folks probably know what the law has done to them and continues to do, right? But see, I don't want to go to that point. Eli, I just sent you a message on Hangouts. All right, Queen, let me launch my Hangouts. I'm sorry I didn't have it open. Give me a second here, Queen. Yeah, you know what, Queen? I got your message on Hangouts. All I'm going to say is this. Just ignore that person. That person is a pathetic person, Queen. Queen, there's only one thing we can do is ignore it. And if you want to go over there and flag that video, that's on you. You're a much better person than that, Queen, and so am I. And so is anyone that's over here. And if that's what these people want to do, they want to continue saying that I'm a disabled abuser and I'm abusing you when you're clearly here on my channel and I'm so nice to you. Like, even if YouTube watches this video, YouTube knows about these trolls. YouTube knows about how people behave out here erratically at times, right? I'm going to wrap this up here in a second, folks, because I need to go eat some dinner and relax a little bit. Give me just 1 second. Give me 1 second. While I respond to this, I am going to... I haven't played a song in a while. Let me play a little song real quick. So give me just a second. I have to respond to this. Which song do I want to play? Oh, I like this one. My favorite song on the whole YouTube audio library is a song called Synergy. Here we go. All right. We're back. That's one of those text messages that I got to get back to right away, because some people that I know, friends, family members, etc. No, it was not my mom. They get overly concerned, and if you don't get back to them almost right away, they keep texting you, and then they say, "Oh, we're gonna come over to your place, and we're gonna make sure you're okay." And oh God. Queen Helen Casey has some choice words to say to the person she was referring to in the private message she sent me. I'm going to leave it at that. Queen, I don't want to give these people any notoriety. You understand? I don't want to give them any notoriety at all. If they want to, make their lives all about trolls and drama, then that's on them. I got better things to do in my life. I've got more productive, real content to create and help people with. You know what I mean? Mutnuts Review says, catch everyone later, off to get a hot bath and then bed. Sounds great, Mutnuts Reviews. I'm going to be going off the air in about 4 or 5 minutes here anyway. But thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate you. Awesome. Okay, give me a second. I got it. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Jesus. Okay. All right. Oh, man. That is so professional of me. I hate responding to text messages while I'm live on the air, but it is what it is. Whatever, right? Just kind of roll with it, right? Anyway, folks, so I'm going to start wrapping this up here. Look, folks, I understand people out there have concern for others. If you have a genuine concern for other people, whether they're, family members or friends, that's understandable. To a certain extent, it's understandable. Showing a little concern here or there is understandable. Showing some major concern when there's actually major concern is understandable. But if you are the type of person that's very overprotective of, all of your friends and family members, then you're more of a control freak. And if you're the type of person that's overprotective because you have a disabled family member or friend, and you feel like they're always getting abused and you always feel like you have to stick up for them, think about how they feel, right? Put yourself in the disabled person's shoes. If they need your help, they're going to ask you, right? Okay? But put yourself in their shoes. If you were disabled, would you want somebody doing that to you, or would you want to have the freedom and flexibility that someone that isn't disabled has? That's all they want. That's all Queen wants. That's all any person wants, whether you're disabled or not. Having concern, folks, is not a problem. Good people have concern for other people, right? Good people that have concern for others are not selfish people. But it becomes selfish when you become overly concerned or overly protective, overprotective, because then it becomes control. And then it becomes annoying. Now, again, my mother is very overprotective of my brother, like I mentioned earlier. But it's my mother. She gave me birth. I'm going to tolerate that from my mother because I love her and I can understand it. I came out of her, right? Okay, she gave birth to me. But from anyone else, I ain't putting up with that crap. And that's where I'm going to wrap up this show here tonight at exactly 1 hour. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank Queen Helen Case for being here. Thank you to Mutnuts Reviews. Thank you to, who else was here earlier? I forgot what her name was. Shauna, thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Anyone else that I missed, and anyone else that was just watching and not chatting. Thank you for being here, folks. Have yourselves a great night. Be good to each other, and I'll see you all tomorrow, either for a pre-recorded video, live stream, maybe both. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications, and you'll find out when I put out my next piece of content, live or pre-recorded. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. We're out. Peace out. We're out. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. We're out. Peace, peace, peace.